Haha. Actually, hey, hold on. I gotta turn this down over here. Freaking communist everywhere you go. Lots of communists. What's our job? What's our job? What's your job? Have you ever had this experience where you talk to somebody about some of the things you've learned, and their muscles tighten up, right? Their body kind of tightens up. I can't handle it. No. They have that kind of fit, right? And you kind of like are taken back from it because you're like, oh shit, I didn't want to hurt somebody. I didn't want to upset them. That's the wrong idea. You need to upset them, right? When you see that, no, that's not it. It can't be, no. That when you see those people have that little MK Ultra breakdown, you know what I mean? That's them breaking down from the Matrix. When we talk about the Matrix, this is this designed orientation that they've designed for people. And this is where I get in this debate about gematria. Is it good to learn it? Is it not good to learn it? Should we respect what the historians have said about Kabbalah and understand that it should be taught in a certain way to certain people and stuff like that? It's a good question. My opinion on the whole thing is there's nothing wrong with ever learning something more as long as that person can handle learning something more, okay? Because this numeric value that they've put on life is their matrix. And it's our job to actually break it. So those who teach it, are they initiating the matrix into more people? All right? Are they initiating it into a larger group of people? And if they are so, wait a second, aren't we supposed to break it? And that's where I get in this debate with the gematria teachers is, okay, if you're going to teach it, teach people to understand that they need to break it. Because, all right, I'm just going to make up numbers. All right, don't hold these numbers to a gematria value. Don't hold these numbers to any kind of value. I'm just going to use random numbers. So if you think they fit into a pattern, that's fine. You can think that. But let's say, let's just use some generic numbers. And I know 1, 2, 3 means something, but I'm going to use it because of the generic sense of the simplicity of it. Let's say this constant 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. This pattern is repetitive in our, media, in our television, in our technological world that's just always appearing to us. So next thing you know, you get people 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and the whole idea is, well, they're compounding this matrix. They're compounding this rhythm, and it's our job to kind of break that rhythm, right? And that's where I've always gotten to debate with the people that teach it, because I think it's important to understand it, but we also need to know the importance of breaking their rhythm. Okay? Because you and I both know, especially the people that watch me, understand this, that there's constantly people out there that fall for that rhythm. If the media puts it out, if the TV puts it out, if whatever, advertising puts it out. And hey, advertising, don't get that wrong. You should learn the history of Edward Bernays to understand. Advertising has a lot to do with mind control. Okay? I don't mean to jump off subject, but when you really take in what advertising is, there's a lot of MK Ultra in it, if you really look at it, right? And feel free to comment if I'm wrong. But if you look at it, it's like, how many times do you, because I'm not a big TV watcher, but you walk into a room and there's a commercial on when somebody's watching TV, and you see, like, just propaganda stuff inside the advertising, right? And to the typical viewer, I'm sure you all have family or friends that are sheeple. They'll watch it and they see the advertising, right? Oh, they're just trying to sell me something. Okay, well, if you really analyze the advertising, there's a lot more agenda going on, right? And I think that's important that people understand that, because when you really look at the past and Edward Bernays and take Bernays back to Freud, there's a lot of psychology involved, and it's not just advertising. This is mental manipulation, and people need to understand this. I'm looking over here at my levels, and it looks like I'm probably running a little quiet here. Let me pick that up. Is that better? Can you hear me now a little bit better? Is that? Well, let me see. I'm just testing my levels here. It looks about right. So anyways, we live in this world where when we try to explain these things, people freak out. The jinx is a hell of a thing. It is. It is a jinx. Let me see. I know you don't know what I'm reading here, but let me see. Yes. Sounds good, Jerry. All right. Thank you. All right. So we're at a good level. But anyways, there's nothing wrong with seeing somebody break down. Don't let your feelings get hurt. It looks like YouTube's not liking what I'm doing there. I see the swirlies. But don't let your feelings get hurt when somebody just starts to freak out when you start talking about something. It's your job to get them to break down. When they're doing that little freak out, no, that can't be true. No, I read this. That's their matrix breaking down. That's what you want. So you need to take that breakdown that somebody's having and say, hey, listen, I did something good. I got them to come out of their mold a little bit. I got to pull them out of their mold a little bit. And even though the answer they shouted out at me made me a little bit, scared that I hurt them, you did a good job by breaking them from that mold, okay? Because you got to look at it like this, right? I look at it like this rusty nut on a car. Because I would like to work on cars, or I don't like to work on cars. I just happen to have cheap cars that need work, right? And you get that one rusty bolt, and you're just cranking, oh my God. And then your friend says, oh shit, I can't get it. And then you try it, and then he tries it, and sooner or later, one of you just breaks it free, right? And that's what we're doing here. We need to break them free from that matrix that they've been programmed into. So sometimes, we need help of our friends. Sometimes we can just keep on doing, being persistent, keep on just cranking that, using that wrench, cranking it till it finally starts to break, And that's what we need to break these people out of. Because that program that was instilled in their minds is like a nut that was put on their brains, right? That nut was put on their brains and then was weathered and rusted to the point where it was almost impossible to crack. And it's almost our job to somehow break it, to put that liquid wrench on it and just keep on pumping and breaking that nut free so we can loosen it up to the point where they start using their mind again. And that's how I look at it. So when you see somebody have that breakdown, that's a good thing. Don't let yourself fall back into your own self and be like, oh, I shouldn't have pushed that hard. I shouldn't have said something. I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have done that. No, what you did is okay. What you did is good. We live in And I don't like to say natural law because that's a Masonic thing, but we like to use the word a God's law or nature's rules and understand that, okay? And it's okay if you broke them out of the matrix a little bit and you hurt their feelings a little bit. That's perfectly okay. And you need to understand that. Because, well, hey, if we don't do it, they're going to stay stuck. And if we don't break 1 or 2, 3, 4 here and there, this matrix is just going to get right into that rhythm that they stick it. They're going to have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now what we need to do is when you see that rhythm going, where these people are keep on getting stuck in their matrix, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, we got to add. They start skipping a beat. We need to skip that beat that they created for society. And I think that's so important. Sorry, Jerry, not trying to get you silence. Would you say? How would you take? Well, that's where that comes from. Kabbalah, the rhythm. They understood it. I mean, just look at entertainment and music. They understand how important that is. And of course, you understand that I can't say certain things because this is YouTube. But there are people out there that understand this rhythm that this world can be confined in. And we can't be scared to break out of it. You know what I mean? So, anyways, that's just what I wanted to talk about. What else we got going on here? Masters, that's what they are. The masters of manipulation. It's funny, is I grew up in a household where it was always joked about, and it was like, and by no means do I want to say Jewish people are bad or anything else, because there's been some great people that I've met that were Jewish in my life, okay? Not everybody understands how they've been programmed. But, it was always said, certain groups, they're storytellers, right? And they're full of shit. But if you take it more serious, if you take their stories more serious, then, it's almost like, hey, you deserve to be fooled. If you think that God would have a chosen people, right? Well, then, fuck you. You kind of deserve to be fooled for thinking something so stupid, right? If a couple people told you this and you believe it, come on. That's all I'm saying. Is don't believe everything you've been told. And I'm not always upset at the people that are telling these stories. And, well, I guess the way to put it is if there are people out there that are dumb enough to believe them, well, I'm sorry. Maybe they should be deceived. If you're if you're so dumb that you believe there's a certain group that's a chosen person, or a chosen group, or chosen people, maybe you deserve to be fooled. Because you didn't take the time to appreciate what God gave you, that brain. And if you don't appreciate it and use it, you deserve to be fooled. So, yeah, what they do is wrong by telling these bullshit stories, but you have to have a little bit of understanding that, okay, well, if people are dumb enough to believe it, maybe they should be fooled. The part I have always had a problem with is the money. And just like any of these, I'm not going to say any particular event, but like events we've seen where they weren't really true, and then people collected money. That's where I had a problem with this whole thing. Okay, somebody allowed themselves to be deceived, so maybe they should have been deceived. But stealing their money, that's a whole nother level of evil. If somebody tells you they are chosen or trust the plan, run away. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. It's, I called Q when he first came out. Nobody ever believes me, but I think I was the one that actually coined the term Q-tard. When everybody was talking about Q, I was like, oh, these are a bunch of tards. And then I put Q, and then I put a hyphen and tard. And then that caught on, and I never got credit for that. So anyways. So if you didn't know, I'm the one who coined Q-tard for the people that follow Q. I just never got credit for it. Oh well. Such is life, right? Anyways, just a little short interlude, and that's about it.